What up mga barangay? Smart Omega just released their MPL Philippines Season 11 roster and I have mixed feelings. Pag-usapan natin to. Real quick, like and subscribe if you haven't yet and ring the notification bell so you all know when I have a new upload up. Alright? So, MPL Philippines Season 11 is already off to a great start. Umaariba na rin ang mga MDL teams. If I'm not mistaken, pakompleto na yata ang roster reveals nila. But MPL though, MPL is actually taking it slow. So far, we've only seen Onyx PH, which is rocking that new logo, which I tried to get a word, an explanation as to why that's the new logo, but it just seems to be a new direction. Whether or not that is the Onyx Prodigy logo or it's just, Onyx PH now, if that's the Onyx PH logo standing, and then they retired the red, white, yellow, and blue, then so be it. But let's talk about Smart Omega. They released their roster not more than 48 hours ago, so this is very fresh. And it's a very tight roster. The tightest they've ever been, I think. Especially since Zapnu is now sitting out, as he's mentioned in his many vlogs as well. To be fair, there's a lot of info that Zapnu actually drops on his vlog that may or may not be official. But once the announcements come out, it makes sense, right? He keeps saying, Chaknu's taking a break, no Mamba for Season 11. No Mamba for Season 11, which I think is what 95% of the comments are talking about. Where's Mamba? Where's Chaknu? That explains why Etomax is now in the coaching staff as a technical coach / analyst. And then, you have Miko and Storm in mid now, previously of Brenny Sports, right? So, that being said, they only have really one sub. Let's run through it real quick. I already mentioned Renzio, the showstopper. Miko, now their main roamer who showed a lot of promise in Season 11. I have to admit, what he showed in, I'd say, the half a dozen games that he played, half a dozen series he played in Season 10, give or take. There was some promise there. It was great. He was doing things Chaknu couldn't, but also a lot of room for improvement. So, very promising. Season 11, Miko, looking forward. Already mentioned his mid lane partner there, Storm, who planted the seeds of the Brenny Sports comeback. He's part of those early investments in the new and improved, the new reborn Brenny Sports. But few found a better spot in mid. That's why they went deep last season. So now, he's under the Smart Omega banner. And I think the aggression that Miko has, how showtime Miko can also be, could complement Stone's skill set. Let's talk about their jungler, of course, one of my favorite players since he debuted in Season 8, Ryzen. One of the most hardworking junglers. Promise. Every single time I see Ryzen do work, it's work. Like, it's not just flash, it's not just... And mind you, he's one of the more flashier utility junglers, right? He plays a mean Ling, plays a solid Fanny, flashback to MSC 2022. I can't wait for him to grow even more. He's actually one of the younger players in Smart Omega, but since he's been with them for 3 seasons now, about 2 years, he's definitely maturing in that role. Still one of my favorites, no doubt. Speaking of which, the Filipino Savage, Kelra, loving the look here. I can't help but still think of him as that bad boy. And when you watch him play, it's not even out of the game, right? In game, he's going to go places and do things that you don't expect a gold laner to do, and get away with it, and do well with it. And that's why he's the Filipino Savage. Sobrang savage niya maglaro. Whether or not he scores a Savage, out of the question, just the way he plays. So, last season, obviously, it's no secret they suffered a first round exit, but regardless, that's just par for the course. They've been too consistent. I won't even say so consistent. They're too consistent. They've always been top 3, top 4, grand finalist for the past few years. So they deserve a break. Season 10, minsan talaga nababurn out. So this time around, that's okay. And I don't put any of the blame on anybody. If anything, Kelra is one of the players that still maintained a high level of performance. So that leaves just the sub left. I already talked about the showstopper. I think it leaves no question that Renzio is still one of the greatest XP laners the game has ever seen. Never weak, always consistent. But now you come to wonder why he might need a sub. Because of all the roles that could have a sub player in, why Renzio? Why would you need a sub for Renzio? And that's where Lewis comes in, also known as Lord Celiboy, who was scouted out, if I'm not mistaken, by Smart Omega. Played for a team that is based in the Visayas region, if I'm not mistaken. One team, one goal. I think I casted Lord Celiboy, aka Lewis, in late 2022. So that's a blessing for me to have seen him in the amateur scene and then him come up and now be part of Smart Omega. So he's definitely someone to look out for. XP laner, one thing I can say is deep hero pool. Expect that Lewis has a deep hero pool. I don't know if I have enough to compare him directly to Renzio, because obviously I've seen Renzio everywhere. Every grand finals Renzio has been part of, I casted that. I was there. A lot of his ups and downs for the showstopper, I was there. But for Lewis, I've seen only a handful of games. So something to watch out for, definitely. Again, if Smart Omega, one of the most OG franchises in the MPL, sees something in a young talent like Lewis, then something definitely to look out for. Let's talk about the coaching staff. Obviously, also one of the most stacked coaching staffs there are in all of Southeast Asian esports. Let's address the elephant in the room. Obviously, mid laner, MPL OG, one of the just nicest dudes in all of esports. I have to say, Tito Max, has come to embrace the inevitable. It's been so long since Max has said, I'm tired, I'm burnt out, I think it's time for me to rest. And he's one of the more experienced, wiser, part of the older crew when you're talking about players. So now that he's an analyst or a technical coach for Smart Omega, definitely something that helps them from the back end. More now that they have younger players fielded, right? Storm, young player. Kelra, young player in the sense of age. Miko as well, he's new to the team. So it's nice that you have Tito Max coming from the back here to help out. They have their main drafter, Universal Intergalactic, just making decisions that you're like, what? And then I win a championship off this. I'm consistently top 2, top 3 every single season. Pakbet. Love it. Jomi. Super duper genius. Like, no question. And then, obviously, Otit Prime. It's Coach Why Not as their head coach. This guy literally put not literally, but most of the teams that he's handled, as far as I know, he put him on his back. And he takes care of them very, very well, right? All the way. So, this is new age Otit with hair. That's a joke that he and I share all the time. It's like, oy, new era with hair. So I'm also slowly growing my hair back out. Him as a player, something else. Love him then, love him more now. He definitely earned his spot here and has pushed for his team to do well season after season after season. So that's our take on Smart Omega Season 11. Definitely a team to watch out for given the risks that they've given the risks that they took and how far they're gonna take these younger talents, and with the absence of the Chak Mamba, can they go far? Like, what can they do here, right? And to close it up, I'd like to just talk about that new jersey. This is their jersey from about a couple seasons ago, and this one is a slight take on this Season 10, and then they added hints of gold, which makes it look both organic and... Are those chains? Are those chains or like batik? But it's definitely an acquired taste. There's a lot of colors definitely going in there. Green, blue, black, yellow, gold, white. But I like it. I'm not sure if it's reflecting the right way, if it really is black, or it's because of the saturation. But I like it. If anything, I have to be honest, I like it more than the white and silver-based Smart Omega jersey. Yeah. But I do miss the sporty jersey, the one that looked like it could fit in like a traditional sport. But anyways, support Smart Omega. One shot, mga barangay.